So again, bache, let's just start with our last lecture of today. Fine. I hope this is clear to you guys. To all, I have all have joined. Still, I think so. 7 to 8 people left. No issues. Fine. We'll start then accordingly. Fine. So let me quickly share our next lecture's PPT. Now in this particular lecture, am I audible to you all now? Any background noise or any particular thing you are facing? Is it all clear now from my side? Yeah, thank you. So let's just start with protocols. Okay, fine. Now let's concentrate on the protocols of our different network. Fine. So for this, bache, yeah, we are going to start with protocols of our network. Fine. So the first protocol is address resolution protocol. Actually, the address resolution protocol is ARP. Fine, referred as which we have already discussed that it is used to map 3 layers IP address to the 2 layers network address. That means I can say whenever, but just 1 minute. Just let. I think I have some issues with my computer. Just 1 second. Yeah, sorry for the interrupt, bache. Yeah. So sorry for the interrupt. Actually, I have some issues with my laptop. Fine. So yeah, address resolution protocol was the one which is being used to find out the MAC address if someone has the name, the IP address of a particular system. For that purpose it is being used to map. Reverse address protocol, we also had one. Fine. It actually determines the, because either if want to know the MAC address of a particular device or we want to reverse that particular address resolution. Fine. For that, knowing the MAC address, we have uh, ARP, and for knowing, for the time when we know the MAC address but we want to know the IP address, then it's reverse address protocol. It is being used. Fine, determining the layer 3 address of the machine from its layer 2 addresses. Fine. Layer 3 refers to the routers. Fine. Layer 2 I am talking about now, switches. You have to, now it's been clear to you guys the different layers, so you must be all clear with this specific terms which are being used. Fine. Determining the layer 3 means determining the IP address of a machine from its layer 2 address. Layer 2 means from the switch, which is from physical address. Fine. Now then we have the internet protocol, IPv version 6, which is being used. It is the principal communications protocols in the internet protocol suite for laying datagram across network boundaries. So IP has the task of delivering the packets from the source to host to the destination host solely based upon the IP address in the packet headers. So IP address, for that purpose it is being used. Fine. For the it is a communication protocol and suit for relaying datagram across the network boundaries that your data is going to be reached. Fine. For that, the protocols which we talked about, routed protocols, these are IPv4 and IPv6 and the routed protocols. Fine. The routing protocols which we discussed, they are the dynamic routing protocols or the static routing. Fine, which are RIP or OSPF or EIGRP. That is the difference between the routed protocols and the routing protocols. Routed protocols are for relaying datagram across the network. Fine, IPv4 and IPv6, and rest are the these. Then we know that when we are going to check that whether that these two devices have a communication with each other, so there is only one thing from which we can, there are different things, but one thing which we can check is with the help of ICMP call. Whenever we send a ping call from this particular PC, ping call to the other PC, fine, we'll check that by sending the request, and it has to be done with the help of this protocol, which is ICMP protocol. Fine. Internet control message protocol, a support protocol for IP6 that provides error reporting or information request and a relay capability to the host. One more thing is also refers to that whenever we make a connection in a particular network, whenever we send the first ping request, whenever we send a first ping request to the other PC or the switch or any particular thing to which we want to communicate, the first packet which is going to be sent is always going to be lost. That means among the ratio, we'll always get the first packet lost. Now that first packet is also will always lost because of the thing that it might not know the MAC address of that particular it might not know the MAC address of that particular device to which need to send the request. That's why the first packet which is going to be sent whenever a new communication, whenever a new network made, it refers to that packet is lost because it doesn't know the IP address. In that case, it is sending the ARP request to get the MAC address. Fine. So first packet is also always going to be lost, and in the first case, we'll always have the packet delivery of the 75%. We'll see that in our lab experiment. Fine. After that, if I again check the ping call from here, the next time we do not get the first packet loss, we'll get the 100% accuracy in our network. Just I'm talking about a very simple thing, fine, just the basic one. No hard and fast rule or no a big logic behind this. Just a simple scenario. I take a PC, connect it with the other PC with the help of a switch. First time a ping request will be sent. In that case, first request is also always going to be first packet is always going to be lost because in that the first request is ARP request which need to be sent because it doesn't know the IP address. So that's why this happened or nothing else. Fine. So then we have the different routing protocols: RIP, OSPF, EAGRP, all these interior gateway protocols. Then we have BGP and EGP are the exterior gateway protocols. Fine, we'll discuss that when the routing chapter comes to in our session. Till then, we just need to focus that these are the dynamic routing protocols which we have, and we have other which is referred to as static routing. The definition we can remember till then, that routing information protocol, open shortest path first, interior gateway protocol, fine, enhanced interior gateway protocol, border gateway protocol, fine, and exterior gateway protocol. These are the protocols name which are good to learn always. So we till then, when we up to the point when we reach to the particular topic, we will remember the names till then. Fine. So these are protocols which are being used to support the routing of IP datagrams and the exchange of routing, and these are referred to as the routing protocols, and these is referred to as the IPv4 IPVs is referred to as the routed protocol. Fine. So moving to the next protocols, transmission protocol TCP. The main transport layer protocol establish and manage connections between devices, ensure reliable and flow control delivery of data using IP. User datagram protocol, fine, again a transport protocol that can be considered. I'm just reading this, fine. I already explained it to you guys, fine, so that you will be able to understand it now. So severely, it is a stripped down version of TCP. Fine, it is used to send data in a simple way between application processes without many reliability in terms of retransmission of packets. Fine, and flow of management features of TCP, but often with greater efficiency. Fine, in case of UDP. Domain name system, then we have, fine, it provides the ability to refer to the IP devices using the name instead of just numerical IP address, because right now we are dealing with IPv4, but times we are also moving to the IPv6 addressing. And as being a human being, it is not easy for us to remember the IP address of IPv6, which is a 128-bit long. Fine. So we need a resolution protocol which convert that IP address into a name, and name is very easy for us to remember as being humans. So we can remember google.com or any other website.com. So this domain name system is being used to convert that IP address into a particular name, and the port number for which it is being used is 53. So we all should remember the port number of the some of the protocols which are listed in this particular presentation. Then we have the bootstrap protocol. It is the earlier version of the DHCP protocol to provide the IP addresses. Fine. Developed to address some of the issues with ARP and used in a similar manner to allow the configuration of a TCP IP device at startup, generally superseded by the DHCP protocol. Fine. It was earlier being used bootstrap protocol. Fine. The currently we are working on this. Fine. DHCP protocol, dynamic host configuration protocol. You have the routers at your homes. Fine. You have the different internet working device. In all the internet working device, you have the access point in this router. Fine. Because we know that if I need to connect to some internet, I need a modem routers. In that, uh, for a fixed period of time, I required a public IP address. Fine. So that dynamic DHCP protocol is being used to provide the IP address to the machine. Fine. And we'll discuss that there is a that IP address which is being provided by this DHCP protocol, which is implemented in your, which is already pre-built in your router. Fine. That IP address is need to be provided to a particular machine for a time period which is being fixed, and it is referred to as lease time period. Fine. Lease time period mean that for a fixed interval of time, this IP address will be given to that particular machine. When its work will be done, the IP address will again come back to the DHCP pool, and it can be reassigned to some of the other devices if that IP address want to use. Fine. Now, in the meantime, that might be a chance, that might be a possible that an IP address has been allocated to me with the help of DHCP protocol, but my work is not being completed, but my lease time is over. Will that possible? Yes or no? Do we understand all, bache? Yes or no? Do we all understand that an IP address has been allotted to my machine? If the yes, fine, thank you. So my work is not get complete, but my lease time is over, and in that case I want the, yeah, repeat, boot b bache. Okay, wait, fine, and more, note it down your query, don't worry. Fine. Lease time period, that means now again the second time my work is not complete, but my lease time is over, and I want the same IP address to be assigned to me by the DHCP protocol. We have different methods in that. Fine. We have automatic reallocation, we have manual allocation of the IP addresses in DHCP. So we'll able to implement that in our lab also. Fine. In one of our experiment, that how we are going to create a DHCP pool of the different IP addresses starting from a particular range and ending to a range, and these IP addresses are going to be assigned to the different machines in that particular network. We'll implement that DHCP protocol onto one of our, it can be, it's our choice. Fine. As being a network administrator, the DHCP protocol can be run on the router, or it can be run on the different server. The DHCP protocol can be implemented on a particular server, or it can be configured on a particular router, internetworking device which I have. Fine. So the port number for the DHCP server is 67, and for the port number for the DHCP client is 68. Let me write it. It's not written here. For the DHCP client, the port number is 68. Bache. Fine. For the domain name system, the port number is 53. For the DHCP server, the port number is 67, and for the DHCP client, port number is 68. HTTP protocol, we all know what it is. The IP address is 80, and it is used to do web surfing for us. It will help us in that any request which need to be sent to internet, this particular protocol is being used. Fine. Then some of the other protocols, which is RF822, which we don't have to discuss in detail. We have multi-purpose internet mail extension. Fine. MIME, which is referred to as MIME protocol. Fine. MIME in a short form, I can say. Then we have simple mail transfer protocol, SMTP protocol, POP protocol, which are being used. Fine. So protocols that define the formatting, delivery, and storage of electronic mail messages on TCP connection. For that purpose, these protocols are being used. Fine. IMAP listens on well-known port, which are 143 or 993. Port number for SMTP are 25, 465, 587, or 255. For among these, any particular protocol can be used. Fine. Any particular port number can be used. They are being assigned by the ISO again, a fixed port number which has been set for a fixed task. So these are the protocols which are being used for the defining the formatting, for the delivery and storage of electronic mails. So in the simple mail transfer protocol, we can send just some simple messages, text. We cannot attach a audio or video. For that we require MIME. Fine, we require multi-purpose internet mail extension. For that purpose, for attaching the audio, video or other files, that protocol is being responsible at the backend. Fine. Then another one protocol which is outdated, fine, not being used, Gopher protocol, an older document retrieval protocol, now largely replaced by the World Wide Web. Fine. Now we're using www. The earlier version was the Gopher protocol. The difference between the HTTP and HTTPS. But you see, in the HTTP, the security concern, fine. Whereas HTTPS is the most secure way where the security algorithms have been implemented. We'll discuss that. There are different algorithms, fine, which are being used to make this HTTP request more secure in a very good way. So it is more secure than the simple HTTP. In simple HTTP, the security algorithms are not there. In the HTTPS version, the more it is a more secure way where the security algorithms are being implemented in that. Fine. So Gopher protocol was coming back is a communication protocol, fine, designed for distributing, searching, and retrieving documents in the IP networks. Then we have the telnet, which is allow a user on a one machine to establish a remote terminal session on another. That if I want to do a remote login access, for example, let's suppose I have a configuration room in my department where all the servers are being established. Fine. Each time I need to go configure a particular switch, each time I need to configure any particular networking device in my server room, I need to go to that. I need to take the console cable, attach my PC to that, and I need to configure that particular switch. But let's suppose I do not want to go each time to the server room. If I am in that particular network, if I am in that particular LAN or in that particular network, and let's suppose I say I am sitting at level 2, the server room is in on level 4, but both the networks are same, then why I say I cannot configure that switch while sitting at the level 2. For that, then we have the telnetting concept, fine, which is a remote login access. Allow a user on one machine to establish a remote terminal session on the other machine. Fine. That means on my machine, by sitting on my machine at my level, I am sitting wherever I am sitting, doesn't matter, but I have to be, but my machine, the IP address, which has to be in the same network. That is the thing. So when a user on one machine wants to establish a remote access, remote terminal session on another machine, we use this telnetting concept. Fine. We'll implement that in the switch configuration on the next lecture when we have our lab. Fine. The port number for that is 23. Then we have simple network management protocol, a full featured protocol for remote management of networks, advanced version of the remote login, remote management of the network and devices over a network. For example, we are sharing a particular printer over a particular network for the different devices due to lack of resources available. So a simple network management protocol is being used to make the remote management and access of every files or any command which has to be done on the network. So for that purpose, this SNMP protocol, it is being used. Fine. So any doubt to anyone till now? The 6 slides which I've covered till now. Any doubt to anyone? No. So okay, let me check it. Let me create a question for you guys. So let me write just 1 second. Number of DHCP server 67 or 68. So quickly answer to me this question so that I'll be able to know that whether you know this, you are remembering the things which we are learning step by step. One is saying okay, very nice. 65 left. Hurry up, bache. Great, awesome. You all are very active. Very good, bache. Very right. 37 left. 10, 5 more seconds. Those who are left will be marked as a left. Okay, fine. So this counts in all your. You have to answer it. This is the present which show that you are active in my class. Fine. So you have to answer that question. Fine. 9 responses left. Yeah, very fine. 10 responses left. 8. Hurry up, bache. So those who have issues, I'll take that report and I'm going to end it. Yes, for the DHCP server, the port number is 67. For the DHCP client, the port number is 68. Bache, fine. So just I'll available that presentation to you guys. Fine, don't worry about it, and you will get every data, all the content by the end of the day. I hope these protocols are being covered to you guys. Just the introduction, fine. So I'll request you to guys to please look into some detail about the MIME protocol. Fine. For the simple SMTP protocol, this task is for the, sir, right answer is 68. But that is for the client. For the DHCP client, the port number is 68. For the DHCP server, I think we have read it. It is 67. Akash, is it so? Fine. Okay. So I am giving you a task, Bache. I am giving this task to you guys that I have explained you some of the protocols. Now it's your task to read to these protocols. Fine, in detail about SMTP protocol and MIME protocol. Fine. If you get any issue, we'll discuss that before the next lecture in our class. But I just want you guys to be also active so that you will do some input from, I'll get some input from your side also, that I get to sure that you are doing something at your end also. Fine, so that it will be easy for you guys to communicate with me. Fine. It's not like that I am just giving this task to complete it. I will not explain. If you get any issues, if you are not able to understand, I'll explain it to you guys. Fine. But for the time being, I just want you guys to also do some homework for you. Fine. So you have to now read about these two protocols. If you don't get it, I'll explain to you guys in the next lecture. Fine. So shall we move forward? Shall we move forward, bache? Yeah. So are we good? Getting all the things? If someone has doubt, if someone wants to want something, you have the your voice, you have chat messages. You may ask me. Fine. But the communication has to be done both ways. You want to ask me? You may ask me, bache, if you want to ask me. Yeah, I am giving you 2 minutes in the lecture. Fine. I know that we have block lectures. Just take 2 minutes and ask something if you have doubt. Ask me any doubt so that we'll start with the next topic, the network layer. Then first we'll discuss the network layer in detail. Then we discuss the different design issues from in the tomorrow's lecture when we have the another lecture. So anything you want to ask? Nothing? Okay, fine. I'll assume that we are all clear and we all are on the same page. Okay. So now we know that network layer we have been discussing. Fine. So on which particular layer does it work? What is the number of the network layer in the OSI model? What is the number of the network layer in the OSI model? Bache? What is the number of the network layer? Yeah, 3. Very right, Arpit. 4. Rafael. Are you not active in my class or you are not listening to me? 3. Very right. Okay, fine. So fine. We know that this is going to be work for the IP addressing. R protocol, RAR protocol, ICMP protocols works in the network layer. Different static routing and dynamic routing works here. Then it is concerned more about the packet transmission, that whatever the packet these are going to be transmission, how they are going to be transmit or how they are going to be route to the different. Now let me quickly now tell you guys some difference between the RIP and OSPF and EIGRP. Fine. OSPF and EIGRP. Fine. Now, when we use the RIP protocol, EIGRP, RIP protocol is the simple protocol which is being used. Fine. There are two versions which are being used: RIP version 1 and RIP version 2. Fine. These are the two versions of the RIP which we use. Fine. In the RIP protocol, actually the administrative distance is 120. Administrative distance refers to administrative distance. We have discussed in the class in the last lecture. Do we discuss? Have we discussed it? Gaurav Agarwal, Mudit Daman, have we discussed it in the last lecture? Anyone want to say something? No. I think I have explained it. I have explained is what is hop count and what is administrative distance. I have explained it, bache, that what is hop count and what is administrative distance. Other students, are you there? Bache, please respond. No, okay. Again repeating, fine. See, someone is saying yes. Okay, fine. Let me explain it again. I know you are now going to behave like students. So let me explain it again. So there are two things which I am more concerned. Fine. You only remember hop count. Fine. That among how many number of networking device I'll pass. That if in my network I'll the data packet pass through two inter-networking device, my hop count will be 2. Fine. In case of administrative distance, it is the distance which is which is being used to find to reach to the other end. That means if I have a device A and I device B, among these there are different paths which are being available. So administrative distance refer to the path, the shortest, the path which is being used to reach to the other end with the administrative distance of 120. In the RIP, in case of RIP, the packet, that which path it need to be follow to reach to the other end. In case of RIP, the administrative distance is 120. That means it is going to take some more time. In case of OSPF, the administrative distance is 110. And in case of EIGRP, the administrative distance is 90. Fine. That is most widely used in right now in most of the companies, EIGRP protocol. Fine. So managing hop count while traveling from source to destination, that how many number of times it passed through that particular device, it include the hop. Fine. So functionality: device which works on network layer mainly focus on routing. It includes various tasks achieve a single goal like addressing, populating routing tables, static route, queuing income packet and outgoing data, and then forwarding them to quality of service constant set for those packets. Then provide the connection oriented and connectionless mechanism for that also. Fine. So these are some of the functionality which we have already discussed. Fine. Now main thing which we have to focus is the network layer features. So with its standard functionalities, fine, layer 3 can provide various features such as quality of service management. Quality of service refers to that what is the mobility of that particular route or the link, what is the end-to-end delay, fine, what is the throughput of that particular route. So these all are the things which counts to this particular quality of service. Fine. So we need to we have these matrices available. Fine, which we are going to use, which helps us in measuring the quality of a particular quality of service in a particular network. So it also do load balancing and link management. Load balancing refers to does anyone knows what is load balancing? Anyone in the class, does it know what is load balancing? Because we know that we have, yes, fine, because we know that we have different routes available, so we do not want to make all the packets to go to a particular single route because it might be result in different collisions. So what we does that we can use the concept of load balancing. It is generally being used in in the different networks. Fine. Right now we are talking about advanced in computer networks. We have someone, does someone has know about SDN networks? Does anyone know that what is SDN networks? Software defined networking. Does anyone know about this SDN networks? SDN software defined. Let me explain. Fine. So whatever the quality of service which are creating issues in the congestion of the algorithm, in the congestion of a network, or in case any particular issue, right now this SDN helps us in solving these helps us in solving these issues. So SDN basically refers to that we know that whatever the router buy, or whatever the modem which we buy, or any kind of particular switch, fine, they have their inbuilt logic built in there, that to which particular network it need to route, or what is the routing protocol which this particular router needs to follow, or to which particular route it need to send the data. So everything is pre-built in the routers what we buy it from the any particular vendor, fine. But the problem with that, as being a network administrator, I do not have the rights to change it, because it is the pre algorithms are pre-built in that devices. So so I cannot do anything with that as being a network administrator. So what SDN networking does, that it provides us the routers or the switches, whatever it is being required. So they said network administrator will have the opportunity to implement the logic behind this, fine. In case of simple, whatever the routers we talk about, each router has its own protocol which is being implemented on the different routers, and they know its own working, that whatever a particular device wants to do, the logic is in that particular device, it is going to send. This device has its own logically inbuilt algorithm, security, other protocols. It is need going to send it. This device does not depend upon the any other device, fine. Whereas in the SDN networks, what it does, it says you will have a centralized network which will the commands to the different protocols, fine. If someone want to know some more in details about the SDN networking, I can give you some of the topics on that, or I can give you some of the research papers which you, if someone has the interest in the field of computer networking, you must read that papers. It will be more clear to you, fine. So here we do not have a centralized system. All the devices working independently, and they are sending the data. Whereas in terms of SDN, it says you are going to have routers. If you want to implement any particular algorithm or the thing, you can implement in that particular machine on that particular centralized system, and it will be sending the commands to the different routers or the different switches in the network, that to what path they follow, to what particular things they need to follow to send that particular device, send that particular data. Now I have a centralized system, my whole security is being implemented over here, and it also become very difficult in case of this SDN network to hack, or some to implement the any virus, or any kind of networking issues which we want to. So it will be more, it is more reliable and more efficient than the normal kind of routers or switches which we have, fine. So then quickly explaining the security features. So also network layer has the feature of the security, interrelation of the different protocols and subnets with the different schemes. Then the different logic network design over the physical design, and L3 VPN security, fine, virtual private network, the tunnels, can be used to provide end-to-end dedicated connectivity, that in a more secure way, the security purpose to the different devices. That's also the responsibility of the network layer features. So these are some of the features which are listed. That's what what's included in the network layer, that what its role is to provide to the different devices. So there are different kind of the network addresses which are in existence, which is IP, which is IPX, and there is a Apple Talk. Fine, these are some of the other addresses which are being used. Apple Talk was earlier built just for the devices which are developed by the Apple. Fine, for the network addresses existence. Fine, but right now currently we are having only this IP protocol. Fine, so these are not now being mostly used because they were specific, they have their limitation, And right now, whatever the network addresses which we are going to use, they are all the IP addresses, fine, which can be IPv4, IPv6. So we are discussing IP here as it only one we use in the practice these days. So router takes help of the routing tables, which has the following information: the method to reach the network, that a particular example which we can see. So just focusing on that, we in the network layer, the functioning is to provide the logical addressing and the which can be done with the help of IP addressing. Fine. So network addresses can be one of the following. It can be unicast, it can be multicast, it can be broadcast, or it can be anycast. Fine. Unicast network addresses refer to, that means it is destined to the one host. That means in the case of unicast, the data can be only sent to or destined to send it to particular one host. In case of multicast, destined to a group. For example, in a class I want to search for a particular UID, and in this class if I say whose UID is 18 BCS 4123, that means I am sending a multicast request. That means this request is reaching to all the other students who are residing in my class. Same way we talk about ARP requests, which need to be sent to the whole network, all the devices in that particular network. So that multicast request, fine. Then broadcast also, that which is destination to the all the groups or to all. Multicast refer to a particular group. The broadcast refer to all the students, fine. So anycast, it is also same like a unicast, but it is destined to only the nearest one. That means unicast is destined to a one host, and that host can be anywhere, whereas anycast is the one which is sending the request to the destination which is the nearest one, but it can be it is also sending to just only a one host. Very one important point which need to be remembered in case of router, that routers never forward broadcast traffic by default. Whatever the traffic which is being sent to the router, if it broadcast traffic, router will never forward this broadcast request by default. We need to implement any of the routing protocol to send that particular request to some other network, fine. So router by default never ever forward the broadcast traffic or a broadcast packet to any of the other network. Multicast traffic uses special treatment as it is a most a video stream or a audio stream with higher priority. Fine. And in case of anycast, it is just similar to the unicast, except that the packets are going to be delivered to the nearest destination when multiple destinations are being available. So these are some of the network addresses which can be used: unicast, multicast, broadcast, anycast. That what we need to remember. Fine. So are we good till now, everyone, or do I need to repeat something from here? I think it's very simple, easy, and easy to remember. Are we sure? Just raise your hand. I think your class is the most, either the most sincere one class that you understand each and everything, or it's like that you all are very intelligent students. You are getting everything. Is it like so that everyone in your class is the topper, or kind of super duper intelligent here that you understand all the things very easily, or is like that or is it like that our communication is very good, that we whatever I am explaining in a very good way, or I can assume that yes or no. Fine. That should be from us. Fine. But see, the most important thing is we know that we are right now in not a mode where we can actually physically attend the class. We know that we cannot compare the physical teaching with the no, virtual teaching. I can understand, but we are taking each and every step just for you guys, that you won't lag behind in any of the time or any of the scenario. You are not left with your studies, so that's what we are focusing on. Fine. I hope that and I assume and that any time at any particular point you get any issue, sending you will be sending that particular request to me, that sir, we have problem at here, please explain it to me again, and so we'll be forwarding to that. Fine. So moving to the next slide, uh, key points. So this is your task for the day. Fine. So I'm going to ask it. Yeah. I get to know that your all students are above 8 CGP. You all are toppers next to Einstein. So this is your task which have been given to you guys. Fine. MIME protocol and the SMTP protocol. So I'm going to ask something from you guys from the next lecture. So do read about it. Fine. Then we have introduced the layer network layer and the different addresses. Fine. So frequently asked questions which have been mostly asked in your interviews or on some basic introduction about it. Fine. HTTP, what port does it use? SMT, SNMP. Fine. ARP request or ARP. Find difference between TCP and UDP and what is MIME. Fine. So you should all be clear with these basic questions, and I hope that you are doing your homework which is being listed in your Blackboard account, and you should all complete it. It's not like that if it is non-graded, that doesn't mean that it's not your responsibility. We have done so much effort for you guys to make each and everything clear to you, and you should also help yourself by completing the task whatever it has been given to you as a homework part at the end of the lecture. Fine. It is being on your Blackboard account. You can see that from here. If it's not visible to me, message me, mail me. If you have any issues, it will be available to you guys. Fine. So that's all with our lecture. Fine. To you all, I hope that you will all be very happy with this particular lecture, and in the next section we are going to talk about the design issues in the network. So fine, our next topic will be design issues in network. Yeah, this is the next topic. But please mute your mic, or if you have some doubt you can ask me. We have 3 minutes left. If you have some doubts you may ask me. Last lecture absent लगा है बच्चे. On where you are checking your attendance? I have not uploaded it anywhere. You are not supposed to check your attendance on Blackboard. You have to check your attendance on COMS बच्चे. If you are absent, you have got the guidelines from the e-governance that your total lecture time is 40 minutes, and it should be, if it is less than 40 minutes, you will be marked absent. We have no role to play. You need to check your attendance on CMS, not on the Blackboard. Instructions are clear. Please look for these. Please look for the attendance on just CMS. Fine. For any data reference, for any particular topic, you need to come to the Blackboard. Fine. I hope that this lecture is being clear to you guys. So the next topic will follow you. This is Bache. This is my mail ID. This it is written over there. So please give the feedback. Those who are please give the feedback. It's a request to all the students. Bache, this is written. This is my mail ID, which is being written over here. Fine. prabjot.e8624@gmail.in. You can mail me your issue, and you will get a reply within 30 minutes or maybe 1 hour if I'm not active. Fine. Any other thing you want to convey, bache? We have still 2 minutes left. If someone has doubt, please ask me. You have audio rights, you have video rights, you have, sorry, audio rights and post chat messages rights. Any related to this query, related to this particular subject, computer network. What about my attendance of previous lecture? Which lecture? Your lab attendance? Sir, 3 criteria necessary for effective and efficient network. But it's not like there are only 3 criteria. There are many things which I have explained, like just throughput, mobility, end-to-end delay, global throughput. There is a lot of big list. MTU, what is the maximum transmission event, what is the bandwidth, what is the reliability. So there are many things, many criteria. We will discuss that. Fine. Sir, what are the IMP networks? We have to remember important network protocols. But only one the which have I mentioned in the list. That will be sufficient for you guys for the understanding. Sir, it is in assessment, Gurdeep. Acha, you can list anything, bache. It's your responsibility to give the assessment, not mine. I hope this is clear to you guys. It's fine. Thank you. We'll meet in the next lecture.